Well, we're working, there's a school, it's the oldest standing building that ever served as a Cleveland Metropolitan School in the city that is in sad shape, built in the 1870s. Beautiful buildings, but the roof line got compromised. So the water got in, and once the water gets into the foundation and the internal, it pops everything out. It becomes cost prohibitive. Well, what we're doing is working with a local development group called St. Clair Superior and a guy named Chris Kious, and local artists. They're trying to do everything they can to use as much material so it won't have to go in landfill. And as a result of that, they've pulled out quite a bit of material. Now, once the building starts to come down, it's all brick, we're going to save as much of the brick as we can and use it in community gardens throughout the city.
My name's Chris Kious. I also work with A Piece of Cleveland, or APOC, where we rescue and upcycle good wood. Sort of, I call it restoring the wood. In the case of each of the rooms where you see the floors and you see the joists exposed, we removed maple first to uncover the original pine flooring that was put in 1885 or 1888. That's got heart pine in it, so it was worth something to us, at least the effort to pull it out. That's a nice one. But it's nice, solid, beautiful old wood at the end of it. I mean, this is, that pine, if you look at the end grains there, just looking at the ends, you see how tight those rings are?
Yep.
You don't see that on pine anymore.
Yeah, that's.
This was old growth pine, so they allowed it to grow, and they allowed it. I mean, the pine trees got huge, like the size of an oak. Whereas nowadays, when you build with pine, you let it grow to like this big, and you cut it in a couple boards.
So it's pretty cool to see, how this gets reused, and how the quality that's in here gets preserved for other kinds of things.
A Piece of Cleveland fabricates, manufactures, designs high-grade, high-quality furniture, interior furnishings, accessories, wine racks, cutting boards, dining room tables, countertops for kitchens and bathrooms, shelving, anything that you can imagine that would incorporate wood, and especially old wood, because that's all that we use as a raw material. We say we rescue and upcycle good wood. That means rescuing good wood means this is good old wood that was cut down in the 1880s, old growth lumber. That's good wood, and we're rescuing it. In other words, we're keeping it from going to the landfill. This building is coming down, so we want to keep the wood. And then upcycling to us, this good wood means instead of just selling lumber, we're selling high-end furniture, beautiful, high-quality pieces that people will want to keep for generations.
When the land is cleared, we're going to keep the plumbing infrastructure in place because the idea is on this school site, and it's a big site, to turn that into the city's first zone urban farm.
Wow. We feel, and luckily the councilman feels that, to improve the quality of life for this whole area, we think that an urban agricultural center would be the place. We're getting a lot of gardeners wanting to set up market gardens in our neighborhood because we have a lot of vacant space.
It will be almost a quarter of a block big, and there's a little building, there's 3 buildings on the land. There's a little building, we're talking to the private owner now, about having him donate it to the city. We could use that little building, which is in good physical shape, as a place to grow in the winter. An education place, if you want to germinate your seeds, if you want to store your stuff. But the vast land would be used for an urban farm.
Well, there's another thing too, looking at where those bricks came from. My guess is they're manufactured here.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, this used to be major brick manufacturing because we have so much clay.
Absolutely.
I think Chris
behind
knows
the
that. He
glaciers.
knows where they came from.
And he'll tell you that guess
Yeah.
what that was before it was a school. It was a farm.
Yeah.
That was a farm. On the sandboard maps that go back before the school was built, that was a farm. So there's something about getting back to who we are, which is what the movement's all about.
My name is Larry Barrett, and I went to the school about 40 years ago.
from kindergarten through the 6th grade. And I graduated from here and went to Wilson Junior High School down the street. And it's just weird that I'm back here now 40 years later and doing some work on it.
With every piece that we make, we give a rebirth certificate. It gives you an idea of where the materials came from, what house, what building in particular, what its location was in terms of the neighborhood, who lived in the house, who designed the house. It attaches more stories and history to your piece than just having a piece of furniture. This is a beautiful dining room table, but it also is a beautiful dining room table that was made from a piece of Cleveland. It was made from, let's say, the Detroit Shoreway neighborhood or the Slavic Village neighborhood.
No, I've been away from the neighborhood for a while, but what I remember most about going here is when the school got struck by lightning, the chimney. The chimney got struck by lightning, and I remember Ray running us down in the fallout shelters and all that, and bricks and stuff like that flying everywhere. And like I said, the school was old then, so I don't know when it was built, but I know it's old now. But that's what I most remember about going to school. It's a lot of people, believe it or not, that lives down here, that still lives down here. Some people in the same houses. A guy that I went to school with came up to me the other day while I was turning on the hydrant, and he's still in the same house that he was in 40 years ago when we went to the school. And it's a good neighborhood. It was a good neighborhood. From what I could see, it's still quiet. I don't see any problems. I don't see a lot of traffic here. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of people running up and down the street, so it's still a good neighborhood.
And, oh, go ahead, Brad, I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say, what do you think about, I mentioned that they're looking to turn this into like an urban farm. What do you think about that? Is seeing your school turn into a place where you're growing things?
Sounds like a good thing to me. It's something positive, in such a negative world. I mean, anything positive, it can't hurt.